warriors, we have to think about 5 things, 5 points I want to bring to your attention that you need to focus on to keep our kids safe in America. These 5 points would be the following. Be aware of social media and algorithms. We're going to talk about that. Music and entertainment, gaming platforms, fashion and advertising, and also classroom tech and AI. All of this is part of this cultural bubble that our kids have just been thrown into. You know what to do. You know to follow lynswarriors.org for breaking headlines, take actions, resources, but be aware. We live in a digital world. I know you know this. But our kids are being deluged. And right now we're sitting on top of a government shutdown. Now you might think, I don't subscribe to that. I'm too busy. But I'll tell you why that's important. Because it affects trafficking, exploitation, abuse of our children. That doesn't stop under a government shutdown. Any of those available resources that we need, right? Hotlines. How about law enforcement to keep people in check, right? We've had such problems with crime and things of that nature. All of this, Department of Homeland Security, FBI, Department of Justice, furloughed, reduced staff. What are we going to do? And then we're working so hard at the Warriors with other groups and organizations and our great colleagues at the National Center on Sexual Exploitation in Washington on the Kids Online Safety Act. This is a piece of bipartisan legislation that says, you know what? Big tech platforms have a duty of care, that they need to step up and they need to be held responsible for allowing harmful content on their platforms. We really mean harmful content, because just today I saw there was a video streamed of 3 young women, 15, 20, and another young woman, who were brutally unalived. Remember, we have algorithms here. And this was live streamed in front of an audience on Instagram. So reported. Now, Instagram is denying it. People are saying, I watched it. I saw that 38 minutes. Where is the accountability for that? So maybe 38 people were watching that. It happened in Argentina. But that'll go around the world now. Our kids are seeing things like that. We just got through. I don't want to say through because we're still there with Charlie Kirk. How many times kids watch that video of Charlie over and over and over again? One child reported to his mom, we know. Kids just kept watching it in my high school over and over and over again, like they couldn't get enough. What do you think that does to a little brain? So there's an all-out assault. I've been saying for 5 years there was a war on for our children. There is a war on for our children, and I'm talking about in America. Why is this allowed? So understand, even this government shutdown that you think, that's just them babies fighting back and forth, is so urgent because it trickles down to each and every one of us. Services shut down. How about those exploited? And they can't get the services. Services are scarce enough, right? Resources are scarce enough. What are you going to do? You're going to take care of things in your own home and your community. It starts with your child. It starts with knowing what they're doing as much as possible online. Being aware of things, right? Kids are savvy, smart. They know how to buy burner phones. They know how to sneak things. They know how to sneak in and out of the house. If you keep your eye on things, you understand things. If you saw your daughter with an expensive Louis Vuitton pocketbook and you didn't buy it, and she's 14 years old, I hope you would question that. Like, where did she get that? That always amazed me, being here in New York City with the Jeffrey Epstein story, when people after the fact, because I did not know Jeffrey Epstein, I never saw anything. Let me put that disclaimer out here. I'm thinking of a person in particular who said, I'm a neighbor of Jeffrey's that I've known for years, but there was no Jeffrey Epstein talk before. Oh yeah, we all saw girls in school uniforms going in his front door, coming out of his front door. Sometimes they'd have Louis Vuitton pocketbooks. I'd be like, well, how old were these girls? Well, I don't know, 14, 15, 16. Nobody said anything. And I said to her, nobody ever said anything? She said, no. Doesn't it seem strange to you? And then you have to know, what do you say? Where do you go? Do you call 911? Who might say, well, there's nothing going on there. Nobody's harmed, screaming, reporting. So it's very complicated that we don't close our eyes, close the door, because that's the kind of response we get. But you have to be aware. And now the internet, I am seeing it speed up so fast with the harm caused. We have the studies, right? Dangerous algorithms, feeding stuff to our kids, feeding messaging, feeding advertising, feeding beauty towards our girls. What is the standard? What are you supposed to look like? Young girls watching videos on TikTok. We're talking 6, 8, 10, and then replicating these beauty routines that we don't know, because anybody can go on and do anything that have a lot of harmful contents, giving themselves facials and things, and they're burning their skin. And so it's all unregulated. No other business is like this where it's unregulated, right? No other business would be allowed to operate like this. Yet I'm so scared because I see all the big tech people sitting at the table in the White House. I see that we're going to have, with our First Lady, kind of a global children, AI, innovation. We're going to push forward. I see at the inauguration, I saw these people surrounding the president, whether it's Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, sitting there with smiles on their face, ruling the roost. It is the most frightening thing. What we can do is take control in our own environment. That being said, I do have to say, what about all those kids who don't have anybody looking for them, don't have a responsible parent or guardian, don't have, one of the reasons a lot of kids run away? Who's looking out for those kids? I really think in 2025, it's a big ask. If you want to be a warrior, you got to look out for all kids. If you see something, hear something, know something, you need to report it. You're not going to be held responsible. You're going to feel better. Better to be safe than sorry, right? Because your gut always tells you, right, if something's not right. We have to be on the lookout for these kids. One of the reasons kids run away, such a high percentage of kids run away, is because they're so vulnerable at home, physical and sexual abuse. And they figure, I got to get away from this. A lot of kids stay because they feel guilty. They have younger siblings they want to take care of. They don't want that abuse heaped on them. Why in America are we allowing this to just keep procreating? We have to stand up and say enough. We have to make our voices heard. We have to be the ones that talk to our kids. Why are we letting strangers online talk to our kids? It's unacceptable. So join me. Take a breath. Understand the actions in Washington do trickle down to each and every one of us. But be that warrior in your own home. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletter. Big push for our Kids Online Safety Act. Bipartisan. Happening. But see how the shutdown, where everybody's concerned about budget and this political fighting, something like KOSA to help our kids to hold big tech accountable. It's the best piece of legislation we can have right now. Perfect? No, nothing's perfect. But it will put the onus. It will give big tech. You have big tech. Apple and Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. You have a duty of care if you design a product that you know is harmful. You're going to be held responsible. And we know this is true, harmful products, because we just had a handful of Meta whistleblowers come forward who worked in research at Meta and shared with us they knew about harmful content. Yet they said to the researchers, change the wording. Lose that piece of the research. Don't you worry about, we'll handle it on the way, the chain up. And nothing was ever done. So these brave people came forward. So we know what goes on at these companies. A couple of years ago, we had Frances Haugen. She was the first one, Facebook, coming forward about harmful content. And they knew about it. Eating disorders for girls, and they allowed it. Because all they care about are advertising dollars, eyeballs. That's all they want. Money, 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 money. Take your breath. Understand this is going on. Understand it's not going away because we have AI now, artificial intelligence. Understand you must sign up for our newsletter. It went out this morning, all about Kids Online Safety Act. It will go out again tomorrow, so you still have a chance. Go to lynswarriors.org, scroll down on the right side. Free, sign up. We try to give you as much free as we can give you. And to those of you out there listening who have donated, volunteered, sent me empowering messages, I thank you. It is what keeps us at the Warriors going, uplifted, engaged, and able to do this work. We bear the heaviness for you. We want to do it for you. Community Creates Change is our hashtag. We're all about America, helping our families and children. Join us. Do what you can do in your own home. And that makes you a warrior.